This is the Surly Grognards for June 26, 2017. This is Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Eric Carlson. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm fending off a cold with whiskey and with whiskey at the moment.
With whiskey and whiskey. All right,
yes.
then. Double the whiskey, double the cold fighting?
Well, the premise here is if I raise my blood alcohol content enough, it will kill the virus.
Okay. I take it you don't want me to give you facts on this, do you?
I'm functioning entirely off of alternative facts regarding this.
That's...
They're hipper, newer facts that had their own, college radio station.
Oh, God. Oh. All right, so we don't really have a topic for tonight, so we're sort of leaning on the chat for suggestions of things to talk about. And one of the first things that was suggested is, have we ever done a show on Sentai series? And the answer is no, we've not, because Eric and I never really watched much of any Sentai series.
Yeah, it's funny. Power Rangers came at the exact wrong time for me to get into them.
Oh my God, no. Yes, Okay, let me double check exactly when Power Rangers came out in the States, because
it was the exact wrong time for me to get into them. Because I was exactly at that age when you're, trying to, desperately seem like you're cool and utterly failing, at least I was, because I'm me. But, yeah, and eventually I got to college and realized that I don't give a fuck what people think. And, yeah, at which point Power Rangers had evolved past something I'd be getting into. Because I would totally be, if I had the wisdom of my 20s, when I was, 13 or 14, then, yeah, I would totally be obsessed with Power Rangers even now.
Power Rangers, I believe, started distribution in the States in 93 is what I'm seeing on Wikipedia.
Yeah, because let's face it, it's giant monsters and people in ridiculous outfits, and there's a giant robot involved.
Yeah, I was in college when that happened. When that
right.
Came out. And it was never a case of, for me, it was never a case of I was too cool for Power Rangers. It was a case of, dear God, this looks stupid. And not in the way I generally find entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, there's giant robots and giant monsters, and
yeah.
My biggest problem with Power Rangers is, even as a guilty pleasure when I was a kid, and even now, is, Jesus Christ, can we just get back to the fucking stupid costumes and giant robots?
That was my problem. My biggest problem was I was sort of okay with the costume guys fighting the rubber monsters, because, I mean, for fuck's sake, I grew up watching Godzilla
Toho Godzilla movies,
right? And Ultraman.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up in the same area. We both had fucking WLVI. That was pretty much what they showed.
Yeah, that and Kung Fu flicks. Oh, and Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, yep.
So yeah, I did, but at first, literally, it was the stuff that with the kids outside the suit stuff. I just I really don't give a fuck about these characters.
They were so
90s, so very 90s,
so very 90s,
so very early 90s,
so saccharine.
Oh my God!
Gee, they were lawful stupid.
It was just. Anyways, I totally get why people like them. I totally get it. And
so do I. No, I totally grok the appeal.
Totally. And it's those characters, those kid characters, had I been at least, I was what? This was 93, I was 20.
Right.
Had I been 10 years younger, sure, why the fuck not? I would have probably enjoyed it.
If I had just been 3 or 4 years younger, I would have been all over it. And if I'd been in my 20s, I would have been watching it ironically. By ironically, I mean fucking enjoying it, but saying it was ironically.
Yeah, I didn't. I never got into the watching things ironically thing. I just would admit that when that yes, I like it. Yes, this is terrible. I still like it. Shut up. Um, but yeah, so I didn't get like Power Rangers. I just didn't enjoy, and like, so I've never bothered getting around into. It just never occurred to me that I was bother watching any of the Sentai, the actual original source material.
Yeah, because Kamen Rider looks vaguely interesting, and so does some of the other Super Sentai stuff.
Yeah.
But what it all boils down to is I've only got a limited amount of time, and I have 10,000 different hobbies.
Yeah, that's sort of my problem too. I mean, like, like the Super Sentai, like, seriously, like, intellectually, my brain goes, I should be. My brain sort of says, Power Rangers. Maybe you didn't like Power Rangers, but what they did with what Saban did with Power Rangers in the States was largely what a lot of studios did importing anime in the early 70s, late 70s and early 80s.
Yep.
Just just
oh no, Power Rangers totally got the Robotech treatment.
Uh, yeah, I was thinking
let's say Robotech, more Battle of the Planets.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It got the Battle of the Planets versus Science Ninja Team Gatchaman.
Yep.
Which, is sort of in many ways the originator of the Sentai team in a lot of ways. I mean, the whole Sentai thing started in anime largely, if I remember correctly. Well, maybe not.
I think actually, you're right, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. The problem is the live-action Sentai and the Sentai stuff in anime has this weird cross-pollination stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, and I could look up, like, try to figure out exactly what it is, but, again, don't really care enough to do that. Sorry.
Sorry, guys, we're in front of the internet, and neither of us could be asked to look it up on Google.
Well, I also want to keep talking about that. But, like, Battle of the Planets, that was another show that came out at exactly the right time that I should have really dug it. But the stuff they added to it to bring it over to the States actually really hurt the show for me.
No, I totally agree. Because I remember watching in syndication and going, well, this sucks. When are they going to put Robotech back on? Or...
But they get to the stuff where they're like flying around flying around and kicking ass in their costumes or in the big Phoenix spaceship plane thing. Like that was fucking cool. What the fuck is Seven Zark 7 doing?
Seven Zark 7, the fucking like teenage sidekicks, and just like the scenes that are in like the animation took a clear drop and a stylistic change.
Well, it's almost like they hired like budget animators, like the budget discarded animators from Hanna-Barbera to do that stuff.
I think that's exactly what happened.
It wouldn't surprise me. Because, oh lordy,
it looked like something that was Frankenstein together, but not with the intention of making it seem Frankensteinian. So, which is something I would not have been able to articulate when I was a kid.
It was just something wrong about it.
Yes. All I knew is it looked wrong and stupid, and I just wanted the cool shit back. I wanted my Transformers back.
Yeah, like it's like okay, I could watch this. Could watch Transor Z instead.
Yeah.
Or Robotech. Or Force 5.
Well, you say dead, but this is the age. But this is the ancient history where VCRs were a luxury.
Yeah, not only that, you have to remember that there were, at least up here in Boston, they would show both, there was anime that was showing on both 25 and on 38.
Yep.
So, we'd have, like, Force 5 and Star Blazers, and something else was on 25. And Robotech, Transor Z, and Voltron were on 38, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And I forget... Did 56, was it WLVI 56, was that the one that had Battle of the Planets?
I think it was 56.
Yeah, they had that, and they had some other sort of okay-ish anime. Oh, that's where Dragon Ball was when it was airing.
Yes, you're right.
Which I avoided like the plague at the time because I thought Dragon Ball was fucking stupid.
Dragon Ball and Techno Man.
Techno Man was good. Techno Man was the one fucking good show, the one good anime 56 had.
Yep.
But at any rate, back to the Sentai team thing. The problem was, like, literally, for me and Eric, like, the Sentai, like, the animated Sentai stuff was on during an era when there was other anime that was with stuff we both fucking loved. Because it had
Right.
giant robots.
And giant robots. And
And
breach eye. Fucking breach eye.
right, or God help me, like fleets of badass starships blowing the crap out of each other.
With
Or
Deathlock.
right. Or God help me, Force 5, which, it had more giant robots. Of lots of different types of giant robots. Because
Yes.
Force 5 was this interesting thing they did here in the Boston area. I don't know where if they did it in the rest of the states. Where they would basically they'd take anime series that were out and they would sort of chop them up into they would basically air like half episodes, but they'd air 2 half episodes in a half-hour block. And they'd rotate them during the week. Something like that, or no.
No. They'd show the full episode, but what
it was
they'd
one
do
of
is
them
they'd rotate they'd rotate like what day of the week it was on.
Right, so Guy King was on Fridays because they had Guy King, and Dangard Ace, Grandizer, Getter Robo, which they called something else.
Was that Giant Robo?
No, it was Getter Robo. It was totally
Okay.
different. Getter Robo's the one with the 3 robots that could
You're right.
form a different super robot depending what order they were in. And the Space Cateers, which I can't remember the actual name of, but I hated. That was the one I didn't like. Because fuck that one. It was stupid. I don't remember what the actual series was called. That was the only one that didn't have giant robots, so I mean...
Right. Because giant robots were key to...
Well, in comparison,
Giant
out
robots
of
are key.
these ones, well, I don't know. Did Dangar Ace really have giant robots? No, it didn't. It had like spaceships and stuff. So
It had spaceships. The spaceships would sometimes turn into like dragons and shit.
yeah, they might have. It's been a long time since I watched Dangar Ace. But so like the Sentai stuff, like it was directly competing with the stuff that really spoke to both, to me at least, and to Eric.
Yeah.
I mean, there was all the giant robot stuff.
Clearly.
And for me, there's all the spaceship stuff and giant robots, which I like almost as much as I like spaceships.
Yeah, I like spaceships almost as much as I like giant robots.
Right.
Which is why we're eternally at war. We almost like the same things.
And also I hate to say it, as much as I've gone back and I've watched some of Science Ninja Team Gatchaman, and it's dated. The animation does not hold up.
Well, yeah, it was from the fucking 70s.
It holds up better than Get a Robo does. Let me just say this right now.
Yeah.
I went back try to watch Get a Robo a while back. Oh, that was not good. That was a bad idea. My nostalgia did not protect me from that. It wasn't terrible, but it was not good. At any rate,
it's kind of funny. Like Japan's gone from like the place of budget animation to like one of the few places really pushing the boundaries of animation.
right. But so at any rate, the real problem for me, looking for and my problem with with the Sentai stuff is as Gatchaman, for instance, was okay. It was solid. Going back and looking at it, it doesn't hold up as well in terms of its writing as Yamato does, or God help me Yamato, or Robotech's a little weird because Robotech
is a weird beast. There's no question there.
Because Robotech is a series that is assembled by cutting together 3 different series, 2 of which had a link.
Yes.
Because
Robotech is
it's a mashup. It's sort of it's cobbled together from Macross, Southern Cross,
and what was because Southern Cross sucked, but was the one that
Mospedia.
Mospedia, yes.
And of those, Macross is really fucking good. Mospedia is actually surprisingly solid, and Southern Cross sucks on toast.
Southern Cross really blows.
Oh lordy, Southern Cross is terrible.
It's like that section in the middle of when you're watching Robotech. It's like, this is stupid. The Robotech Masters are stupid. What are they going to do from here? This is... Oh, they went back to Earth. Oh, Earth has been taken over and destroyed by the Invid. Oh, this is awesome. Okay, I'm in.
The weirdest thing about that is the ending of the second arc of Robotech, the bit where Southern Cross ends. With the blooming of the flowers thing.
Right.
If you look at that without any of the dialogue or anything like that, and if you compare it to the way it happens in Southern Cross, that's a happy ending in Southern Cross.
Right.
But it's very much presented as, oh, we're fucked.
Yeah, because oh shit, the flower of life. Oh shit, the protoculture flowered. That means the invader coming. We are boned.
But like you look at like if you look at the actual what's going on screen, it looks beautiful and happy and great because that's what it was originally.
Yeah, but you know you've got the musical cues and everyone going oh shit in the background.
So yeah, that like Robotech is still one of the most bizarre pieces of just how the fuck did they do that?
It's another Frankenstein's monster, but you know it works sort
Yes.
of. Sort of.
Yeah.
Like I said, Southern Cross sucks.
Yeah. Whereas Yamato basically just sort of said, okay, we're just going to make some minor changes to dialogue and such to make it work better for American audiences, and we'll sort of de-emphasize some of the vast quantities of death that happen on screen. A lot of people die in Yamato.
Yeah. Well, Earth gets radiation bombed. That's the impetus for the whole thing.
Well, they don't. That's not the best they cut away. That's pretty clear. No, it's the people who die on the Yamato when they get into fights and shit. Because a bunch of the crew dies during the show.
Yep.
They don't emphasize it. And they make a few minor tweaks here and there. Like for instance, the whole sort of thing that the Gamelon homeworld and Iskandar are in the same solar system is not something that's treated as a spoiler in Japan. It's not treated as a big plot element in the Japanese series, original Japanese series.
Right.
It's not treated as like because they show the system with both planets on it during the intro, and like they're labeled. So like if you're paying attention to the intro, you know that Gamelos and Iskandar
are in the same
Whereas
fucking system.
In Star Blazers, they go, that's a major plot point. Nope, we're not showing Iskandar in this picture.
No, screw you.
And that's one of the changes they made that makes it's actually an improvement.
Yes.
There are a few things that they actually improved in Star Blazers. There's that.
Deathlock, honestly.
Deathlock
in the original Yamato comes across as sort of your typical like anime villain. He's got the deep booming voice and he's always grr and I'm bad. But you watch Star Blazers and they give him like this very sophisticated like James Bond villain type of aspect to him.
Okay, Eric, here's the thing. That that voice and that choice of sort of direction for Deathlock, he's the original.
Really?
Yeah.
He's
the first one to do that, to be that sort of that style of villain, that sort of deep stentorian, badass, I'm awesome, super awesome, deep baritone voice.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's like when you watch The French Connection and you sort of feel how like how sort of almost feels like almost referential with its car chase and such. Then you remember, oh right, The French Connection innovated all this shit with the car chases.
Right, it's kind of like watching Citizen Kane going, Jesus Christ, this is so cliched. Oh, no, wait, it seems cliched because it did all this first.
Yeah. Again, Eric, remember, Yamato came out in 1974.
Yeah, I forget that a lot because I watched it in the 80s.
Yeah. It's like, oh, right, Yamato came out in 1974. It innovated, it like, a lot of tropes in sci-fi anime come from Yamato.
Yep.
Like the hero cannon on the hero on our hero's ship that is super powerful but has a drawback. Yeah, the Yamato created that was created in Yamato Wave motion gun.
Yep.
It's just like, oh right, Yamato kind of created all this stuff. God, Leiji Matsumoto is a genius. Also, the animation holds up shockingly well for its era.
It does. It really does.
It's dated as fuck. Like you go back and watch it now, you're like, yeah. They're reusing shots and all this stuff. But it was 1974.
Yeah.
It looks better than some of the stuff that came out in the late 1970s and early 1980s.
That's like watching the first Gundam or Robotech. And you're like, wow, this holds up to most of the shit that came out in the 90s.
I won't go that far with the original Mobile Suit Gundam Eric. I've tried watching it. That does not hold up as well as Robotech did, as Macross.
Okay, fair enough.
Macross is also later.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, Macross is also a few years later.
uh,
Macross is,
Mobile
I
Suit
think,
Gundam was
82?
78. Mobile Suit Gundam doesn't hold up as well as in terms of its animation quality.
Yeah.
The rest of the show, I'm sure, is fine. I've not watched it, but I've tried. I've
I've
tried
watched a
watching.
good chunk of it, and it's actually remarkably good once you get past the profoundly dated animation.
Yes, but like,
There's a little bit of the Shinji complex, but, it's 20 years before Shinji. So,
but yeah, like I will say flatly, the art and animation in Yamato is better than the art and
I'm,
animation in
you're
Gundam.
probably right. It's been
But
a while
again,
since
it's
either.
not fair. It's Leiji fucking Matsumoto.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy that gave us fucking Harlock.
Yeah, he's responsible for Yamato, Harlock, uh,
Galaxy Express
Galaxy
39.
Express, Interstellar 555.
Yep, that's all
Five.
him.
They're four fives. I don't remember if I said all four.
Interstellar plus a lot of fives.
Yeah,
You know, that Daft Punk friggin' concept video. That's
that
all him.
yeah, yeah. The fact that they dear God that Interstellar 5555 is really cool. Doesn't make a
Yes.
goddamn lick of sense, but who fucking cares?
It's Lady
It's
Matsumoto.
gorgeous, and it's Leiji Matsumoto, and it's fucking Daft Punk.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
it's awesome. But yeah, so all of us are tying back to like I brought up Yamato because as Gatchaman's writing is good, but it's not on the level of either like Yamato or Macross,
Mm.
both of which are just fucking brilliant.
Especially when you consider Macross boils down to J-pop saves the universe.
Yeah, and yeah, but you know what? I'm okay with that.
So am I. I actually kind of dig that. It's artistic expression saves the universe. That's awesome. It's J-pop, which is silly, but hey, whatever. Artistic expression saves the universe. I'm down with that.
Yeah, and Minmei's less infuriating in Macross than she was in Robotech.
In Robot, yes, because Jesus Christ, like even when I was a little kid, I wanted to strangle Min May.
I don't want to strangle her, but as opposed to, dear Lord, I want to thump her cousin. What's his bucket?
Oh, Captain, I'm a pacifist. I don't think we should be fighting. There are aliens trying to murder all of us right now, and you've got to bug up your ass about the friggin' military.
Mr. Anti-military in the particular situation he's in. It's like, yeah, okay, I totally grok your. I'm a pacifist. All this. I actually grok that totally. This
Sure.
is not the time or the place. There's a time and a place when people are actively trying to murder you. Maybe not so much. Like right at that second.
Yeah, there's a time where idealism must give way to pragmatism, and that's when people are literally shooting laser bolts at your face.
In general, I mean,
Again, I'm gonna
I
say this right now. You don't have to pick up the gun, but don't give the guy picking up the gun to save your ass a hard time.
yeah, um, yeah, that's sort of my point, really. It's like, yeah, you can say we shouldn't be fighting all this stuff. You welcome to do that. That's fine. Don't make it more difficult for the people trying to save your ass.
Yeah.
Like actively trying. Oh, never mind. There are so many different ways I could go on about it. It's a complicated issue, and I can't remember the kids. Is it Kai?
Kai sounds right.
Yeah, whatever. He's a dick. It's the problem with the character isn't that he's a pacifist, that he's written to be a complete twat.
Yes. Well, he's intended to be a complete twat.
And he is totally.
Yeah, he's
So
clearly intended to be a complete twat.
mission fucking successful.
Yeah. Like you were supposed to hate the dude.
Yeah. But at any rate, so yeah, Gatchaman's good, but its writing doesn't stand up as well as Yamato's or Macross's.
I haven't seen Gotchamon itself ever, and I haven't seen Battle of the Planets in decades.
They are not the same thing. They really
Yeah.
aren't.
I totally grok that. I am not in the least bit surprised.
Like, I think less so than Macross and Robotech are the same thing. And that's...
You know what? I've seen both Macross and Robotech, and they actually, like, There's not that big of a
There's
difference.
not a big difference. There are subtle differences.
There's some subtle differences. The use of protoculture being not a society, but instead a substance.
Right. Yeah. At any rate, so yeah, Sentai is something that. But anyways, that's why neither Eric and I really got into. I mean, there wasn't a lot of options for watching Sentai stuff in the States when we were younger.
Yeah, prior to Power Rangers, Sentai wasn't really a thing in
Not
the
in the
States.
States. I mean, I knew people. I knew of people who watched like Kamen Rider, like, but it was harder to get your mitts on that for at least in our area, for at least in my area, than it was to get
Yeah,
my hands on anime.
and it was pretty hard to get your hands on anime.
Yeah, it was for a long while. Right up until like basically I got to college when it started getting much easier,
Yep.
and that's when Power Rangers showed up too. So I was like,
One of these things is live action. One of these things is animated. Eric loves things that are animated.
one of these things is live action Power Rangers. The other of these things is wait, you mean I actually can get Star Blazers on VHS now for myself? What's this thing called? Slayers. Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, Record of Lotus War. This is pretty nifty.
What's this? Holy crap! This looks like D&D, but like cartoons, but not sucky. I'll try this.
But there's no bleeding unicorn. Fuck that unicorn so goddamn much. By the way, the D&D cartoon, god awful. God, that was terrible.
Yeah,
I didn't like that when I was a kid.
there are parts of it that stuck out to me, but as being interesting. But on the whole, yeah, it was pretty terrible.
Oh my god. I mean, Tiamat was cool, but giant fucking
Yeah,
dragons.
because
So, I mean,
Tiamat's a five-headed dragon.
yeah. I mean, how wrong can you go with a five-headed dragon?
You can't really. I mean, five-headed dragons make everything better.
I mean, that they had to
Dinner with the in-laws, five-headed dragon.
uh,
So yeah, that's pretty much why we never got into Sentai, because well, it happened to show up at exactly the wrong time for us, and well, we both have 10,000 other hobbies.
So Azul mentions that this sort of being on the topic, things we probably would have been interested in if we were a little bit younger at the time. Yeah, I mean, Power Rangers. Yeah, that sort of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Power,
sort of.
yeah. If Power Rangers was airing at the time, I was obsessively watching the Creature Double feature on WLBI. Yeah, I would totally be into fucking Power Rangers.
I probably would. I probably would have enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd have gotten into it quite that much. Well, I will say this: if Kamen Rider or Super Sentai was showing at the time, I definitely would have been sucked in.
Yep.
Um,
Pokemon's another one of those things that just did not come at the right time.
oh god, yeah. Pokemon came came at the time where it just Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. That's it.
Yep.
Those both came. They came at roughly the same time Power Rangers did, if I remember correctly.
Yu-Gi-Oh came later, if I remember correctly.
Let me check when they came out. All right, the Pokemon anime started in. The Pokemon anime was later than Power Rangers. That was set in '97.
Right.
So I'm guessing Yu-Gi-Oh was not far after.
But yeah, Pokemon came out, and I didn't have a Game Boy. I had other things to watch other than the anime airing on TV.
Yeah, anime started in '98.
Yeah. And the card game took up space that could be better put to use playing 40K or fantasy.
Yeah, Pokemon. Okay, I did not get into the cartoon. Although watching the cartoon, I and my brother watched it. I totally got why he liked it. I was like,
Right.
I totally understand why people younger than I am like this show. I am not the target demo. That's fine. Yu-Gi-Oh! I did not understand. and to a
Yu-Gi-Oh! I
large
remember
degree,
watching a few episodes and going, "This is surreal in its weirdness." Like, like to like a Twin Peaks level of insanity. Like the overcomplicated, batshit insane plot. Like I remember like watching like it being a marathon when I was like stuck at home for some one reason or another, and being like, so wait a minute, the kid when he plays the children's card game actually becomes possessed by an ancient Egyptian pharaoh, and the card game's based on demon summoning rituals used by this pharaoh to fight his enemies, retainers. What? I don't understand. So why does the rich kid care so much about it? Oh, he's just an asshole. Okay. But now there's this guy with like a golden eye and a pink suit. Like, what is this Slanesh champion doing playing a children's card game? It was really weird.
yeah,
What's with this white-haired kid? I mean, what is he also? He is also possessed by an evil sorcerer from ancient Egypt.
oh, and apparently the rich kid's the reincarnation of one of the pharaoh's closest lieutenants or something like that. Apparently,
Of course he is.
by the way, that's one of the random episodes I saw, and I was like, wait, what? What?
It's just very, very weird.
That show, I swear to God, I don't understand Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's like they gave David Lynch a friggin' children's anime and told him to go nuts.
I've
All right,
tried
now we're
watching-
going to have Baron Harkonnen pull people's heart plugs. Why are there heart plugs? Shut up. And we're going to milk a cat. What?
God damn it, Lynch. God. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! I was just, what? Ah.
Which is part of the reason why Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge is just fucking brilliant.
Yo, it's really good. And here's the thing. Today, nowadays, I can look back at what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is and say, okay, I don't enjoy this, but oh my god, I totally grok why some people do. Because, dear God, it's fucking weird. It's fucking weird, man. The really fucking weird thing about all this, like all those kids' anime that came out about that time, is Digimon came out. And I fucking love Digimon.
Yeah, Digimon's fucking great.
I didn't watch all of it, but like every time my brother was watching Digimon, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch that. Plonk, sit down, watch it. Because Digimon,
Yeah.
I'm like, why do
You
I
sit
like
there
Digimon?
channel surfing and like Digimon's on? Yeah, I'm gonna fucking watch Digimon.
I'm still not entirely sure why I like Digimon more than I like Pokemon.
Because Digimon had more shit going on than some kid wandering around with his electric rat trying to claim badges for some reason. Like there was a plot to fucking Digimon.
Well, there is sort of an ongoing plot in Pokemon too, but like I never got to that because I couldn't get through most of the episodes. You know, and a large part of it I think is probably it's probably better written.
Yeah. And I'll totally admit, like Digimon Tamers, I watched the fuck out of that when I was in college.
Okay, I'll take your word on that.
That was totally my guilty pleasure in college.
Fair enough. I didn't
like-
watch. I didn't.
I will totally admit to watching like creepy ass fucking hentai, but not Digimon trainers.
Oh no, yeah, like like I didn't watch. I've not watched all of Digimon. I've watched punks of it, parts of it. But I enjoyed what I watched of it. I enjoyed. And
Yeah.
bounced hard. Pokemon, I was just like, yeah, this is fine, but not my thing. And I bounced hardcore off Yu-Gi-Oh. And there were a bunch of other shows around that time that were sort of similar ilk. And that was sort of an era when they started bringing over. There's a lot of stuff that was being brought over to the States. Again, it was another wave of anime being brought over to the States.
Right.
And being dubbed. And during that particular era, it was mostly for kids.
Yep.
And lordy, they ruined some shows I actually do like. For the longest time, I thought One Piece was the stupidest shit ever. I hated One
Yeah,
Piece.
yeah. No, that my first experience with One Piece was via the Four Kids, and I was like,
Oh
"This
lordy,
is why is this popular? I know this is popular. Why is it fucking popular?" And it's like, oh, it was One Piece. It was Four Kids. Okay.
I for the long time
And
like
then I tried watching it, like the original, and I was like, I understand why people like this. I should like this. By all rights, I should enjoy it. I don't.
yeah, fair enough. One Piece is it is so the original One Piece is so much better than what happened with the Four Kids
Yep.
version. Oh my god. Also, One Piece takes a while to get going. I'll be completely honest. Uh,
That doesn't surprise me.
but it got butchered by Four Kids.
Yep.
Oh my
It was
god.
around the time Toonami started showing like Gundam Wing and shit.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing.
And I love me some Gundam Wing. It does not hold up, but I love me some Gundam Wing.
But yeah, like I literally like with for Yu-Gi-Oh, not Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece. I avoided that like the plague until I was I kept hearing our friends Nick and Chris, our friend Nick and my friend Chris doing their weekly manga recap show,
Mm.
and they love One Piece to pieces, and they kept talking about how good it was, and like I eventually said, okay, fine, fuck it, I will attempt to read the manga because clearly the manga is better than the anime, and took me a little bit to get I took a little bit to get going through the first chunk of it, and then I basically hit I hit Arlong Park, and I finished the rest of I got caught up with the rest of One Piece in about a week.
Wow. There's a lot of
Yeah,
fucking One Piece.
there's a lot more now. I read a lot of it very quickly. Oh lordy,
It's funny. Speaking of manga, I should read. Like Berserk is something I definitely need to track down and read.
everything I've heard is the
Um,
manga is light years better than the anime. Either
yeah.
of the animes.
Because I enjoyed the '90s anime quite a bit.
Ooh,
Not like my top 10 or anything, but I enjoyed it.
yeah,
And well, the 2017 is a freaking like eye gouging nightmare,
yeah, I've heard it's
which I
terrible.
guess is appropriate for Berserk, but yeah. And I've read some parts of it. I'm like, this is great. I should really pick this up. Oh, look, a new volume of this thing I care about is out. I'll buy this instead and get to Berserk later, and never did. So yeah, I eventually got to start reading Berserk, is what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, like, just I tried watching the 2016. I really wanted the 2016 Berserk to be good, really did, but it's just so bad. Like, just the quality of the animation is choppy and with terrible shot composition and an inability to follow the action and just
Huh.
so vile. Like, take any still from the show, it's gorgeous. But they run them all together as animation should be, and it's just god awful. And the worst part is they'll do flashbacks of the traditional 2D animation with good shot composition and an understanding about how to frame your characters, and it's light years better. Then it goes back to the 3D, and it's like all that stuff they know about how to fucking stage a scene goes out the fucking window.
Yeah.
So yeah, what I'm saying is the new Berserk show is terrible. It makes my eyes bleed.
I'll take your word on that. I literally had zero interest in watching the new Berserk because I watched about half the original anime that you talked
Right,
about and said, yeah, this is not for me. Like I could see what was good about it,
right.
but like I didn't. Nothing grabbed me in that.
I can see that. Actually, it is not a show I'd recommend to you.
Oh, there just aren't any characters in that I found particularly interesting.
You see, that's the thing. I really like
Well,
the triumvirate of Casca, Guts, and Griffin. And then Griffin does what Griffin does, and
yeah, I'm
well,
aware of that.
yeah.
I got, yeah,
You're like, oh shit, you asshole.
yeah. It just didn't work for me. I'm just no, no.
I like I said, I totally grok that it is
Yeah.
not your kind of show. Is like I said, is not a show I'd recommend to you. Like there are shows that I really like that I just won't recommend to you because they're not your bag.
No, no. At any rate, yeah. I don't think there's anything else that sort of any other sort of media or thing that came out that I was just like the wrong age for.
I don't know because yeah, I'm not thinking of anything off the top of my head because there's that like period in the '90s where it was a trying so hard to be cool and failing so utterly. And like seriously, I was just terrible. Um, and then there was that I stopped caring, and yeah, because like there was that like renaissance of Cartoon Network, but I was at the right age to not care that it was for kids. So Foster's Home for Imaginary Children, um,
Right.
uh, Dexter's Lab, the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, like all great shows that I watched, despite them being for kids. And Billy and Mandy wasn't really for kids.
Yeah. No.
Remember they're quoting Aleister Crowley at the beginning of the episode, and making references to Blue Velvet.
Dude, they did a God Emperor of Dune pastiche.
Yes.
Like for an entire fucking
universe.
episode. And I'll say this, dear God, that was a better version of God Emperor of Dune than God Emperor of Dune was.
Yes.
I've read God Emperor of Dune. Ah. Like, what in fucking worlds inspired those people to let's do an episode of this show based on God Emperor of Dune. God Emperor of Dune of all God.
It was an entire dream sequence that is basically the video to that Talking Heads song. What is? This is not my beautiful life. This is not my.
Yeah. Shit. Crap. I can't remember the name of that song.
Yeah, neither can I. But there's like they do like the entire video to it, and it's a dream sequence for Grimm. So
Once in a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime. So it's Grimm's dream sequence. It's the entire video to that, except it's like all horrible monsters, and he's just going around being all happy and cheery through it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
That was a great show. I love that show. I should rewatch
There
that
are
show.
parts of Billy and Mandy that are absolutely fantastic. It started wearing a little bit thin after a while, in my opinion, but
I can understand.
Lordy, when they were on, it was great.
I mean,
But yeah,
and
I mean,
who
I'll be
doesn't love
honest.
Avatar: The Last Airbender? I'll tell you who. People that suck.
Oh, Avatar's fantastic, but yeah. No, honestly, like the quality of kids' cartoons has gotten overall
It's
gotten a lot
skyrocketed.
better. It's gotten a lot better.
Like look at Steven Universe and Adventure Time. I just finished marathoning Adventure Time. Like Adventure Time is fucking amazing.
The parts I've watched, I've absolutely adored.
Yeah.
After a certain point, there are a bunch of kids' cartoons that I will freely acknowledge are almost certainly great. That I've not watched, or watched a little bit of and decided I didn't want to watch more of it.
Uncle Grandpa is absolute ass.
That was not one of the ones I was going to list off as being quality that I didn't watch. No, like Steven Universe. I tried watching the early parts of Steven Universe, and I bounced hard off that show.
I think
everything I've heard
I can
is
see
that it gets a lot better after like the first 8 episodes.
Yeah.
I've just been like, the parts I watched were so just like that show. I'll say this flatly: that show was not good early. I
No, but what kept me watching it was that they're clearly building up to something. There were lots of like little hints being dropped in the background. It's like, are they doing this on purpose? I have to keep watching to find out. It was sort of like what I watched Madoka Magica. Is they doing this on purpose? I have to keep watching to find out. And yeah, they were.
No, and I'm certain that Steven Universe is better. That is actually good now. I'm absolutely certain. I just never really had the desire to go and actually watch it, despite that everything I've heard is quite good.
Right.
I watched the pilot for My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. Exceedingly well written.
Yes.
So not my cup of tea.
No, I don't think My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. It deserves all the cult-like praise it garners from certain segments. But it's good. It
is a
just
very,
not my
very
bag.
well-written children's cartoon.
Yeah, it's just not at all my bag, and that's cool.
Yeah. It is a very well-written... It is one of the... It's brilliantly written.
I mean, the pilot involves, like, a bunch of ponies trying to stop a mad god from plunging the world into eternal darkness.
For fuck's sake, that's awesome!
Yes!
But like, I watched it like, I enjoyed that, but I really see no need to watch any more of this. I'm done.
Yeah.
I've gotten my dosage of what I want from the show.
I tried watching a bit, like a few episodes past the pilot. I was like, yeah, they've fallen into the trap I figured they'd fall into. I'm not interested anymore. Thanks.
Yeah. But yeah, like there's tons of great children's cartoons out now. I'm so happy that that's the case.
Gumball. Gumball's great. Gumball does a great trick of just like mixing like 1,000 different styles of animation together in a single.
That's the only thing I really enjoy about Gumball. I get why people like it's one of the ones I think is I'm glad I get why people like it, but
yeah. Gumball has a bit of that like old school anarchic Warner Brothers comedy to it, but with something resembling but like stapled onto an actual plot, which makes it which is a weird marriage that doesn't work all the time, but
yeah, it just doesn't. Gumball doesn't do anything for me. I acknowledge that the animation's so just what. What are you? Wait, are you combining cell shaded stuff with stop motion and
CG all at the same time? Are you mad?
They're probably madder than a box of frogs. They're
it's
almost
all CG. It's just that the manner in which they render things. I haven't actually researched how they do it because I really enjoy the mystique of how they do.
But yeah, they're clearly madder than a box of frogs.
Yes.
Yeah. I suspect that I'm not at the right. I'm not in the right target demo for that one. Is what it boils down to.
That's perfectly fair. Phineas and Ferb I never gone into.
I've heard it's good, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not my bag.
I've heard Fairly Odd Parents started off very well, but
fell off a cliff from what I've been able to figure out.
Yep. Yeah, there's a bunch of them that are a bunch of there are a bunch of what I understand very good cartoons on on Disney XD. One of which I have watched, which was fucking amazing and is one of my favorite modern cartoons. Period.
What's that?
Gravity Falls.
Oh yeah, Gravity Falls. Yeah, Gravity Falls is fucking amazing. Yeah, Gravity Falls. Cannot sing that show's praises enough.
Nope. No, especially considering that it ended.
Yeah.
He had a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Proper ending.
Yeah. Done. Like, I am certain Disney would have offered him truckloads of money to say, "No, keep making this," and he's like, "No, the story's done."
No. The story's done. We're done.
But but but
That's
but
okay.
but we have dump trucks full of money. Eh. As I said, if you haven't watched Gravity Falls, okay, I'm going to try to say this in a way that is not overhyping it because I find overhyping stuff is the death of enjoyment. I personally recommend the show to anybody who enjoys surreality and weird shit, along with a good story uh, and a good dosage of humor
And good characters.
and good characters. The characters are the characters are all very solid and well written. And it ends. It is 2 seasons and it's got a definitive endpoint. Okay, I've said that. I am not going to overhype it and say that it is the greatest show ever because it's not the greatest show ever.
Oh no, it's not the greatest show ever.
It is my favorite modern cartoon that's come out in like the past like 5 or 6 years. Yes, period. Actually, well,
5 or 6 that's come out in the past 5 or 6 years.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like I'm trying to think of something like I'm sort of like trying to think if I want to limit that to Western or if I want to include Japanese stuff too. I don't know. I think I might actually like it better than I like Yamato 2199.
Now that's some high fucking praise.
It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I mean, there are other cartoons that have come out in the past, same period of time that I know people really love that I'm not as big a fan of. Like
yeah, Rebels is on XC too. Rebels is really good.
I've heard
You
that.
need to watch Rebels at some point, Peter. Especially if you're running a Star Wars game.
Yeah. I've heard We Bare Bears is actually pretty good, actually.
I have not seen We Bare Bears.
I've only seen screen caps of it, and they're all the screen caps I've seen are fucking adorable.
Yeah.
But apparently it's actually surprisingly subversive.
That doesn't surprise me.
No.
Like subversive children's cartoons seem to have been a thing for a while.
Oh god, well they've been a thing for forever.
Yeah. But it's like
they had an entire Taken style episode around underground Roomba fighting.
That's amazing. That is great.
Okay, I may have to check the show out now. Thank you, Dwadi. What? All right, but yeah, there are cartoons that I like. There's some cartoons, sort of more adult cartoons that have come out over the past 5 or 6 years that I understand why people like them. I am not as big a fan of them. Eric knows what I'm thinking. I almost certainly can name the one I'm thinking of off the top of my head. The one that's first and foremost in my mind.
Are you thinking Konosuba?
No, Western.
Oh, Rick and Morty.
Yep. I acknowledge that Rick and Morty is good, unlike Konosuba. Season 1. Rick and Morty, I acknowledge. Yeah, the writing's brilliant. I just don't enjoy it.
And I can see why. Rick and Morty tends to get a little nihilistic. And you're not a big fan of nihilism.
No. No, my problem with it is I really don't like basically any of the characters. Like, every now and then they do stuff that, like, oh, maybe I should actually care about what happens. No, never mind. Fuck Rick. Screw that guy.
And I guess I can grok that. But, no, I really enjoy Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is pretty freaking awesome. Rick and Morty is not a children's cartoon.
No, that's why I wasn't talking about it.
Not under any way, shape, or form.
I was not talking about it during I didn't bring it up during that bit. I was just mentioning that, I was just thinking about, like, my comment about, like, how Gravity Falls is my favorite cartoon in the past 5 or 6 years. Just got me thinking, yeah, Rick and Morty came out during that period, and while I acknowledge it's probably on par, I don't like it. Peg plus cat is awesome for really young ones. I believe it. Not heard of it, but I believe that. Yeah, so yeah, there's
Well,
a
there's
lot of
Being Puppy Cat, which is pretty hilarious and awesome, but that's not being broadcast anywhere. It's just on YouTube, as far as I know.
yeah. So yeah,
The one thing that's really missing from broadcast cartoons at the moment, particularly from the West, is any action cartoons.
yeah.
Like the last great action cartoon that came out was friggin' the Young Justice. Unless you count Voltron,
I don't know.
which is on Netflix. So I'm not sure if it counts. It should probably count. Okay, Voltron is pretty awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I watched the pilot for that and haven't gotten back to it yet. Yeah, I watched the first episode on Netflix and I was like,
Right.
I don't know.
No, I really enjoyed Voltron. I thought it was pretty great. It's the animation studio looks I haven't actually looked it up, but I'm pretty sure it's the same studio that did Avatar.
Okay.
You don't care.
I don't know. It's well animated and it was looked solid. It's just I just didn't it was not something weirdly it's Voltron and it didn't suck me back for after the first episode.
Right.
And it wasn't that it was bad. I was like, yeah, this is good. All right, I got things I got to do right now, so I'll come back to it some other time. Yeah. Anywho, we should probably start wrapping up. We've been going.
Yeah, it's getting to be about that time.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been rambling on for a while about cartoons and stuff stuff we just didn't get into or love or comparisons. Stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got some, maybe you guys got some show recommendations that you haven't watched that during our rambling that you might want to go check out. If you haven't watched Gravity Falls, go watch it. Seriously, it's really good.
Yeah, give it a shot. It's totally worth it.
Yeah, again, it's worth giving a shot is what it really boils down to. It might not be your cup of tea.
I can't imagine that being the case, but I entirely allow for the possibility that that could be.
I don't know of anyone that I know personally who's watched Gravity Falls and didn't like it. But I acknowledge that it's possible. At any rate, that's going to do it for this week, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Normally, we save time at the end of each episode for viewer questions. We do have a few, but we kind of kept rambling longer than I planned on. And I was going to go to viewer questions, but yeah.
Because we're gibbering idiots.
Yeah, that's really it. But we will get to them, I promise. I promise we'll get to the viewer questions that we have at some point.
One day, eventually.
But if you've got more for us,
after
please,
everyone stopped caring.
Yeah. But if you've got more for us, please send them to us. If we get enough of them, maybe we'll do a whole episode on viewer questions. Those are fun. Anyway, send them to us. Our email address is surlygrognards@yahoo.com. surlygrognards@yahoo.com. Or you can post them in the comment section on YouTube. If you got feedback for us, constructive criticism, ways we can make the show better, all that jazz, we fucking adore that stuff. Please send it to us.
That stuff is pretty awesome, guys.
So, yeah, same places, YouTube, you know the deal. And if you got show topic suggestions, we love that more than just about anything.
Yes, we really do.
In regards to the show. I don't love show topic suggestions more than I like, say, chocolate or beer.
Those are very good things.
See? But I do love show topic suggestions. They make make doing the show much easier and more fun.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Please send them to us. Even if we don't get to them immediately, we will probably get to them at some point, unless it's a topic that we really can't envision getting a show out of. In which case, we might bundle with some other topics to do a show out of, or we might just treat it as a question. If we haven't gotten to yours yet and you have sent us them, I'm sorry. We will try to get them eventually. Uh, it usually just means that I've forgotten about them, or I don't think we can do them in time for the. We haven't started talking about what we want to do for the show until it's late enough that some topic suggestions need more time. So,
Right.
at any rate, more prep time, I should say. At any rate, so yeah,
Actual research.
actual preparation. I'm supposed to just starting the show going, yeah. What do you want to talk about this week, Eric? Yeah.
Let's do this thing. So, yeah.
Anyways, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. We record the show Monday nights at roughly 7 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/MechaGM. I tweet out when it goes when we're going to go live on my Twitter handle. My Twitter handle is @MechaGM, so keep an eye on my Twitter if you want to know when the show's going to go live or when I'm about to stream anything. That's going to do it for this week, though, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys. We'll see you guys real soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye.